The first thing we will want to do is press A and X and delete everything. And then press Shift A and under Image, go to Reference. I have linked 2 links in the description. You can just go to the website and download the images. And then when you have done, you can go to this view so you can see the images and select this white one. Okay, so now we have our image. We can select it and press Alt R to clear the rotation. And then press R, X and type in 90 to rotate it 90 degrees. And now we have our reference. But if we press Shift A and add a circle to start working on our object, will be a little bit hard to see. So we can go to shading. And right now we can't change this image. So we can right click and click convert to mesh plane and click OK. Okay, and now when we select it again, we have these nodes down here. We can unplug the alpha channel and press Shift A and search for a ramp and just add a color ramp in between. When it highlights white, you can add it in between. And now just pull up the black like this. And we can change this here from linear to ease. And now we have a really nice high contrast edge, which is very useful as a reference. Now we can't see the cup anymore in our layout, so we have to go up here to viewport shading and then we can see it again. Okay, now you can click on this icon or press 1 on your number pad and then press Shift A and under mesh add a circle. You can scale this down and press G and Z to move it down. Now go to edit mode. You can use tab for that and then just select edge select mode. You can press 1, 2 and 3 to cycle between these modes. Press A and extrude on Z. You can press G and Z to move it up a little bit more and then just, it doesn't have to be perfect, just scale it up like this. Okay, and now go back to object mode, select the background and press G and X and just move it ever so slightly. You can hold Shift to move it less, just move it that you think it's correct. And then select your object again and go back into edit mode. And now you can go to edge select mode and hold Alt and select this edge to select the whole loop and then press F to fill it in. Now go with this selected to your modifiers tab and click on add modifier and on search and type in solidify. Hit enter and then just adjust the thickness to 0.009. And now add a new modifier, type in subdivision surface. And now set the levels to 3 and 3. Go to face select mode and select this bottom face and just press I and insert it like this, just a little bit. You can change it later. Then press Ctrl R and hover over these edges. Left click and drag it down and left click again to place it there. 1 to go into side view or click here. And then you can press G and G to move this along. Okay, I think somewhere like this looks good. Go back into object mode, right click and click shade smooth. I will press Ctrl R again, add this loop cut and slide it up. And now I will press GG to move it to a place where I like it. Okay, that looks good to me. Now is a good time to save your project. You can press Ctrl S and then just save it as coffee cup. Okay, now we can model this lid. Press Shift A, add a circle, G and Z. It's hard to see now, so again 1 for side view, G, Z and S to scale. Go into edit mode, edge select mode, E, Z, and you can just scale it like this. And then E, and while you're in this play state, press S, and you can barely see it right there. Press GZ to move it down a bit, and then EZ again. So I've just extended it out by pressing E and S right after. Pressing E and Z again, and scaling it like this, and then E and Z. Doesn't have to be nearly perfect. Now we can select this first and this second, so that the bottom cup is highlighted in light yellow. And then we can press Ctrl L and select copy modifiers. But now the lid is a little bit thick, so select the lid again and change the thickness to 0.03. Make sure you selected the lid and not changing these modifiers. Now change the offset from -1 to 1. And now we can go into side view again and into edit mode and stay in edge select mode and just select these edges and scale them and move them around. And if you can't see these lines, you can disable this modifier, select the lines and enable it again. And then you can scale it to something like here. And then this curve is too much, so I press Ctrl R and add a loop cut and move it down. And then I scale it up a little bit, but now I want to select this again. Okay, now I'll add a loop cut here and move it up. I want to bring this out more, so hit 3 for face selection and Alt select these edges and Alt Shift select the second edge and move it out like this. And I go back to edge select mode and select this edge and press G and Z to move it up and scale it out like this. And the bottom edge I will place like here. And then I press Ctrl R, add another cut. And I'll just move this out a little bit like this. Okay, and now I'll just look if it looks good to me. This edge is a little bit too sharp for me, so I'll alt select this GG and move it down. That looks better. Okay, I'm fine with the lid now. Okay, now we can right click and press Shade Smooth. I want to position the cup so it fits nicely under this ridge, but a little bit hard to see right now. So I press N for this panel, go to View, and under Clip Start, I will change this amount to 0.1. And now I can clip through the mesh. And I can select this object, go to edit mode, and now move this. But there's another edge under here, so I'll press 3 and select one of these vertical edges like this. And then I just press GZ to move it up and S to move it to the side. And that's fine. Okay, and now the last thing to do is press F and then just I like this. I go into side view and I scale this out a little bit and add another loop cut here. And that looks good. Now you 3 for face select again and insert this face like this once. Okay, and now the last thing we want to do is add a little bit of variance, but we don't need our reference anymore. So we go here and select our reference and hide it, and then importantly hide it here also. Otherwise it's still gonna come through in the render. And now select our lid and go to edit mode, and then we can turn on this button here. Now we can press G and move it around and everything follows. You can scroll up to make this circle smaller. If you're not sure if you're scrolling in the right direction, you can see there in the top left corner how big it is. Okay, so I will just make it a subtle difference like this, and I will change it a little bit here, and I will lift it a little bit here, and I'll bring it down a little bit here. Okay, that's good enough. And now I will change this from smooth to random and do it very subtly now, just a tiny bit. And this will give it a little bit of randomness, but don't make it too extreme, and then it will be weird. Okay, and there we have our lid. So stick around for the next video, which will come out tomorrow. If it's already out, it will be linked in the info card right there. And in the second part, we will discuss how to texture this and render it as a nice coffee cup. So stay tuned for the next part, and goodbye.